Be that sin will what? Increase and increase and increase.
That's right.
In other words, God told you it's not going to get any better.
Yes, sir.
That's why he said he has made ways for us to escape what we go through.
Come on.
The problem with us black people as a whole is that we are not taking those ways. We want to do either what we want to do,
Come on.
or we keep on following the European. Deeper and deeper in our trap. So we apologize. We couldn't make it any larger. We have to work on that technical difficulty. But this morning our message is the great whore of Babylon. And the question is, who is the great whore of Babylon? Now, if you've been in Christianity for a minute, or been in church, or have gone to church, you heard about the whore of Babylon.
Yes, sir.
Most people say the whore of Babylon is America. I want to clear that up.
Yes, sir.
America is Babylon, modern day Babylon. Babylon means the gate of God, or the gates of the gods. It comes from the Akkadian word Bab Ilanu, or Bab Iluni, or Bab El, or Bab Ilu, which means Bab El, Bab Ilu means the gate of God. The Akkadian Bab Ilanu, or Bab Iluni, means gate of the gods. All right? Because remember, Babel gets its name after the so-called biblical story of Nimrod, who was building what? A gateway into heaven. Right.
Yes, sir.
So in Babylon, it's called the gateway of the God, or the gateway of the gods. All right? And Nimrod, the builder of Babel, was known as a genius who was wicked at heart. Anytime you can build something going to God, and the God himself said, let me come down and see what he's doing. When the creator has to take time to come down and see what you're doing, you must be a superb individual. Isn't that right? And the God said, the creator said, let us stop him from doing what he's imagined to do. In other words, God has declared he's going to get here. Did y'all catch that?
Yeah.
Let us stop him from doing what he has imagined to do. Because if I don't stop him, if you read the story, he's letting you know Nimrod coming. That's a terrible brother.
Terrible thing.
Right? Well, today we're living in modern Babylon. We're living in a land of the beast, where this beast every day is imagining to do what he wants to do. But no one is stopping this beast. Why? Because this beast, if you know your Bible, the preacher should have told you, this beast authority only moves because you allow it.
That's right. Preach, Doc.
So we have to look back at this beast today and say, let us stop him
That's right.
from what he has imagined
Yes, sir.
to do.
That's right. That's good stuff.
So why aren't we stopping him? Because we're confused about the scriptures. America is Babylon. But America is not the whore. Listen to it now. Revelation chapter 17 and 18 says the whore of Babylon. So the whore can't be Babylon if the whore is of, meaning she rules. Let's get into it. Let's go to Revelation chapter 17 verse 1. Revelation 17:1, and this is important for all of us black people, Africans, Moors, etc. to know. Because if we know the history of America, we know how to stop America. All right? Brother Sekou, are you, Brother
Yes.
Clark, can you see this? Or?
And there came one of the seven angels, which had the seven vials, cups, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, and I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters.
All right. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Now, one of the 7 angels, this is John, the son of Zebedee, who was given the authority to write the book of Revelation. And he's in what? A vision. And he's in a vision with who? A Malach, an angel. And one of these 7 angels came to him with a vial. Listen carefully now. A vial is a wide bowl or a cup with the stem. What were they used for? They were used for divining. If you read Genesis about Joseph, we know the story of Joseph who was sold into Egypt. Joseph will decipher dreams by divining through a cup. Y'all scared of divination. They told you divination was evil in the church, right? But here you got a prophet divining, and then you got an angel coming with the same type of instrument to John with a cup. He ain't drinking anything. It's used for divination. How do you know that? Because he said to John, I will show you a mystery. How is he going to show him a mystery? Through divination.
Yes, sir.
All right? Stop being afraid of your voodoo
No
culture.
doubt.
With the white man in Rome, it's called voodoo. Made us afraid of everything that is us. But he came with us to show him the mystery. And what did he show him the mystery of? The great whore. The great whore means the chief whore. Meaning this whore rules over all the whores of the world. Isn't that right?
That's right.
She is the world's prostitute, the leading prostitute. We're in the land of the great whore. We're in the land of the mother prostitute. That's where we are. And we keep following after this whore, doing what? Whorish things.
Oh, brother.
This is as simple as that. All right, that's why when you read through the scriptures, and we'll touch on it, when Yahweh talks to us, ancient Israel, he says, you have gone a whoring. Why? Because you follow the whore. And you were not designed to be whores. Isn't that right?
Yes.
Does not this land make us whores?
Absolutely.
Who taught us the nasty and filthy things that we now do but a whore? Who taught us that it's all right to lay down woman with another woman and man with another man and male or female with a beast? Who taught us to molest children? The whore. So we have gone
A horn.
a whoring and we can't figure out why we're being punished. She rules over every nation. Does it not say that?
Yes, sir.
So Babylon, this country, rules over every nation. Her money isn't worth a dime.
Not bit.
She's in debt to China. She's in debt to Russia.
Japan.
She's in debt to Japan. But yet she rules over them. How is that possible? What gives her her power? There's a spiritual thing going on here, not a physical thing. Which is why Paul said we fight not against what? Flesh and blood,
Yes, sir.
but principalities, powers in high places. This is why he cuts off your spirituality and makes it evil to you. And you no longer know how to divine and do the other things. Because you're not fighting flesh and blood. You're fighting stuff in the spirit realm, but you don't know how to connect to the spirit realm anymore. But the angel came to John and said, let me show you a divination.
Come on, brother.
Take you back to your roots. She rules over every nation. Let's go to Revelation 17:2. Brother Sekou, read that one for us if you will.
With whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication.
Ashe. So America is modern day Babylon, but America is not the great whore. Right? What does it say again, Brother Sekou? Read that again. We want to hear it again. One more time.
With whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication,
Hey, Will.
and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication.
Revelation 17:1 says she sitteth upon many waters. Waters represents people and nations. Sitteth upon means she rules over. Right? Now we come to find out that the leaders of these nations that she ruled over, she commits what? Fornication.
Yes, she does.
Fornication is an act. But we're not talking about a physical act here now, we're talking about a spiritual act. The land did not teach you how to fornicate with the land. It was the whore that taught you how to fornicate with herself.
Yes, sir.
Then she has given us her wine. Wine means her teachings, her theologies, her doctrines, her ways, her ideas.
Come on.
The land didn't give you these things.
Not at all. Come on.
It was an individual, the great whore,
Teach you.
whom you committed fornication with, that gave you these thoughts and this way of thinking. So the whore is an individual or a person or a people or a nation. Babylon is America, the white man is the whore.
Come on.
Yes.
Brother.
Y'all
That's the
got
truth.
it?
Yes.
You in the land of the European, the great whore of Babylon. So yes, we're in modern day Babylon, but Babylon, the land, America, is not the whore. It is just the city or the nation that the whore rules from.
Yes, sir.
The European is the whore. This is the mystery of the whore of Babylon.
Come on, brother.
And we have to know this because no one else teaches the world this type of filth. You can travel the world and you can study everybody's history, and you'll find that everybody's history, from the black man, the brown man, the red man, the yellow man, did not ever have these ways until we met the white man.
Right.
Pale race. He taught us how to be ungodly, which is why the Most High says, separate yourselves
Come
from
on,
them.
God. Come on.
And if you read throughout Genesis, why did he say separate yourselves from them? He said because they would turn you against me.
Yes.
First thing they would do was take me away from you.
Come on, brother.
And take you away from me. And what's the first thing they did when they got our ancestors,
Exactly.
sister?
Took God.
They took the God from us and the goddess out of us. Because when you don't have your God and your goddess, you don't have nobody now. You're an empty vessel. And when you're an empty vessel, now the devil can move in.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's why the scripture said, idle mind
Ooh,
is the devil's workshop.
yes, indeed.
That's why we are always taught to be godly minded, to always have spiritual things and religious things and scriptural things on our mind, because when your mind is empty, boom, the devil comes
He
in.
come.
So he's real crafty now because he has mastered a way to get to our children. And we sit there and we encourage it. What does he do? He got all these video games.
Come on, God.
He got all the social media stuff.
Right.
And we're not putting anything spiritual, religious, and cultural in our children's minds, so their minds are truly empty.
That's right.
And then we sit them in front of that Bluetooth, we sit them in front of that phone, we give them all these electronics, and what is the devil doing? Instant programming, teaching, setting them up with all of their filth. All of their nasty ways and their bad habits and their evil influences. And then we got the nerve to look at our children and say, where you get that from? I didn't raise you to be that way. But you opened the door for it. And when someone speaks against it, you become angry. Because you want your child to be able to associate with white children in white America and fit in. You don't want them to be odd, to go to school and be righteous. You don't encourage them to pray over their food anymore.
That's right.
Why? Because you don't want the other children teasing them and chastising them and punching on them. So my parents didn't care about
Not
that.
at all.
Used to tell you always pray over your food, always wash your hands, do this and do that. If someone laugh at you, you laugh at them. That's what Mama used to say.
That's right.
She said, but if they hit you, you hit them back.
That's right.
Isn't that right?
That's right.
That's right. Now we
So it is the European, the pale race that now rules over every nation and teaches everybody their bad ways. She is the whore of Babylon. She is the one, brothers and sisters, we must watch out for. Because that whore is deadly. And the whore not only prostitutes herself with us, she then murders us.
Yes, indeed.
She imprisons us. She hooks us on drugs. She hooks us on alcoholism. She teaches us every filthy thing she can. And what do? We glorify it. See, in other words, let me tell you what I'm talking about. You get on social media, and you always hear people on social media and in public talking about the church, right? Downing it, and ministers. But we never down the real niggas.
come on, brother.
Not at all. Not at all.
Snoop Dogg had a video out not too long ago. He's smoking his weed. A brother standing beside him. He passed the weed to the brother. The brother had on a police uniform. He smoked a little weed. He pulled the police uniform off, and then he pulls his pants down to his waist, exposing his drawers. You know, like we do.
Yeah.
And all the comments, because I always want to know what people thinking. All the comments are positive. Yeah, man, Snoop got it going on. Yeah, that's the way you do it, blah, blah, blah. So niggerism, the attitude of the whore, the demeanor of the whore, the characteristics of the whore, you support.
Come on, brother.
But when somebody tell you to pray to God,
Come on.
when somebody tell you to come to worship, or if somebody say anything about tithing, boom, we go in. Church is getting big, the community is poor. And that may be true, and churches need to tighten up.
That's right.
But the drug dealer is always rich.
Come on, brother.
And don't give them jack to the community.
That's right.
And then kill you at the same time. But you don't say nothing about the drug dealer. Why? Because the drug dealer is a part of the whore's program.
That's right.
And because you have gone on whoring, you support what the whore does.
Teach you, brother. All right.
Isn't that right?
Sad but true.
Brother kill brother. We don't pick up the phone. We won't go to court and testify against that man. Excuse me, nigga kill brother. Y'all forgive me. The brother don't kill brother. Why? I don't want to be no snitch. Why? Because the whore taught you not to snitch.
Yeah.
Isn't that right?
That's right.
What would I look like as a black man watching a Negro with the white man's mentality take the life of my brother or my sister?
Come on.
And I don't do anything myself to act physically or call the police or say, hey, I'm going to testify against him because our community don't need him.
That's right. That's right.
Then niggas come to me, nigga, you snitch.
Yeah.
I'm going to be quick to say, nigga, back up. I didn't snitch. I got rid of the trash.
Come on, brother.
Because the house needs to be cleaned out.
That's right.
That's right. Yes, sir.
Isn't that right?
That's right.
You can't fight the white man and get the white man off your back until you get all these niggas
Come on, Doc. In the
out
house.
the house. This is why the scriptures say judgment begins where? In the house of Israel. And God is telling you, clean your house first. I'm judging you first. I'm going to clean you up first before we deal with the devil. That's why we're backwards, and that's why we're still struggling, and that's why we're still in the hellhole we're in.
That's right.
Because our own house is a whole house. That's all it is. Our own house
Help us, Yahweh.
is the whorehouse. So, brothers and sisters, we every day drink the wine of her fornication. The wine, again, is what? Her teachings, her ways, her traditions, customs, and ideas. Let's look at a scripture from what they call the other Bible. All right? The other Bible are books of the Bible that were not added in. Okay, and that was for a purpose. Because they don't want you to know everything about yourself.
That's right.
All right, this is the other Bible, page 507 of that book. Can you see it, brother? Okay, can
Baruch.
you get someone to read it for us?
Branch, is that?
Baruch evokes Babylon as the prospering power which has caused Zion's, Yahweh's children's infinite misery. Ashe.
Baruch evokes. He's making what? A revelation here. Baruch, in your Bible, your King James and other translation, Baruch was a prophet in the so-called Old Testament who was a companion and disciple of the prophet Jeremiah. After the book of Jeremiah, you get into the book of what? Lamentations, which is called the weepings or the cryings of Jeremiah, because Jeremiah was weeping as he prophesied chastisement. Well, Baruch was the brother who wrote the Lamentations, as Jeremiah prophesied them. All right, so we're saying, they're saying here that Baruch did what? He evokes, what now?
Babylon's prospering power.
Her what power?
Prospering.
Prospering power. Did y'all catch that?
Yep.
This prophecy was told before you got here. She would have prospering power over you, and what else, sister?
And to cause us infinite misery.
And her prospering power will cause us infinite, endless misery. We've been here 400 years, and for 400 years we've been in misery.
Misery.
And every action we took or have taken to get ourselves out of this misery has not worked. We've integrated. We got on the bus. We drink from the water fountain. We go into their schools now. We sit at the counters, right? We are now what? Mayors and governors and have become president. We are CEOs and presidents of corporations. We can buy land. We open up our own businesses. We can move anywhere we want to go if we have the money to do so. And we're still living in misery. Why? Because God didn't tell you to live with the whore. God told you to get rid of the whore. Isn't that right? If you have a home and you let a friend come to live in your house and you come to find out that while you're gone, that friend is prostituting him or herself in your home,
Gotta go.
how long you gonna let that friend stay?
Not even
You cleaning out the house. Isn't that right?
That's right.
Where everywhere our foot step, because we're the seed of Abraham.
Yes, sir.
Listen carefully. God told Abraham, everywhere you step belongs to you and your seed. That's why the world belongs to you.
That's right.
Because the black man and woman, the original people of the planet, we're found on every continent and in every place. They dig into the earth. The deeper they dig, the more they find us.
Come on, brother.
They found us in the North and South Pole.
Yes, they did. That's
We
right.
was everywhere.
Everywhere.
We were in Europe before the white man. We were in China before the yellow man. We were in India before the brown man. We were in America before the red man.
That's right. Teach you, big brother.
We were everywhere.
Yes, sir.
So all of the planet belongs to the black man and the black woman, but we won't clean it up. Y'all with me? I'm not preaching too hard this morning, am I? It's all right. And until we clean it up, you're going to have an eternal what? Misery.
Yes, sir.
Infinite is eternal, endless.
Yes, sir.
Misery is not going anywhere until you clean this mess up. But we will not unite and separate. And I'm not talking about separating and having to move, because the world is mine. I don't have to move back to Africa to be free.
Exactly.
The world is mine.
That's right.
Africa is the birthplace, right? But the world is our what? Home.
Yes, sir.
So everywhere I tread, God says, the land is mine. I can leave America and go to Cuba. Once my black feet step on Cuban soil, that land mine.
Come on, brother.
That's Ahmed's land. Huh? I prove it to you. You know American history? How did the white man take the land?
Come on, Doc.
He just went there and he settled. They had something called settlers' laws.
That's right.
All he had to do was say, who's on this land? And see what said, no one? Well, I'm going to set up this as my
That's
own.
right.
They claimed it.
Yes, they did.
That's how they took the land. Then they set up laws for Europeans. They took the land from the Indians and they told the European, you come over here, anywhere you can find this free land, you settle on it, your land.
That's right. That's right.
That's crazy.
It is crazy.
That's what they did.
That's what they did.
Now my question is, if the devil can do it,
Why can't we do it?
Why can't you righteous?
why we're afraid? Because they done whipped our black behinds with Jesus. They made us weak with Jesus.
Programmed it.
Because Jesus loved everybody. And Jesus forgives everybody of their sin, which was the greatest lie the devil could ever have told you. Because Yeshua HaMashiach, Yeshua the Messiah, whom the world now called Jesus the Christ, never told you to love your enemies, never told you to forgive them, never told you to mix with them, never told you to marry them. As a matter of fact, he told his disciples, he said, what? Go not in the way of the Gentiles.
Come on, brother.
I ain't aware of it, that's right.
Didn't he say it?
Yeah.
Why would he tell you not to go in the way of the Gentiles?
Where you wrong?
Because those are not his people.
That's right.
And when Rome was in Israel, and he was talking to his disciples one day, he said to his disciples asked him, Master, why do you teach us in parables, hidden and secret messages? He said, for those who are around
Come on.
may not hear. And what? He said, be saved.
That's right. They
Huh?
believe
Wait a
it.
minute, Jesus came to save everybody.
No.
No, he didn't.
He didn't.
Come on, brother.
And who were those around, Brother Tabitha? It was the centurion Roman soldiers.
That's right.
Yeah.
He said, I ain't come to save them.
That's right.
As a matter of fact, in John 17, when he prayed before going in the Garden of Gethsemane, before going to the cross, he said, Father, I pray not for the world. I only pray for those whom you have given me.
That's right.
Thanks.
Who has he been given? He said, I only come to the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
That's crazy.
I didn't come to this Gentile.
No,
Every time you ask God to bless America,
Never.
every time you ask God to bless a leader of America, you're asking God to bless the great whore.
I don't
Now, let me tell you how powerful your words are, gods and goddesses. The Most High said, whatsoever you ask, I'm going to give it to
Yes,
you.
he will.
So every time you say, Lord, Father, God, whatever, bless my enemies. God is looking and disgust like, why you keep asking me to bless those who oppress you? But child, I love you so much. I promise you, and my word can't come back to me void. I got to give you
What you asked for.
what you ask for.
That's right. That's right.
Say that again.
You say you have to give us.
Oh, yeah.
People post on your Facebook all the time. Little children with cancer, and my little children, I send them love and God bless you and this and that. Little white children, I pass by.
Not exactly. Not doing that.
Not being evil, I just don't send. I pass by. I'm not gonna bless you.
That's right.
Why? Because Nat Turner said when they kill that baby that night,
Take it off.
that
Stand by.
little devil gonna grow up to be a big devil.
Big. That's
Yeah.
right.
Isn't that right?
That's what he said.
During slavery,
Yeah, come on.
we had to, as little children, we were pets to little white children. We had to go play with them. They could come get us at any time. They could send us home. They had birthday parties, and we had to stand outside and peek as they eat the good cookies and drink all the, and we didn't get anything. But the only thing we did get was their little rags. When they outgrew their clothing or they tore them up, then they gave them to the slave mother to give to the slave child. Isn't that right?
That's right.
But when the little devil grew up to become
Come
a
on.
big devil, he inherited his little playmate. Because Nat Turner's slave owner was his pappy.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And who inherited him? His so-called half-brother. That's the first one he killed that night.
That's right. That's right.
That was his so-called brother.
That's right.
But his brother inherited
Yeah.
him as a pet, as a slave, as a piece of property. This is why the Most High said don't mix with them, because even when you mix, guess what, children? He said they'll never truly love you.
That's right.
Isn't that right? Thomas Jefferson had children by who? Sally Henry. But guess what? She and her children were still slaves. You didn't take your wife to Europe when you traveled. You took Sally. You didn't write love poems about your wife that still remain today. You wrote love poems and stories about Sally. But they were still slaves. And to this day, your descendants have Monticello.
But Sally,
Sally's children are trying to fight for their part of the deal. We just don't get it.
Good luck with that.
A whore never respects the man who's sleeping with her.
come
All
on,
the
brother.
whore wants is what she can get or he can get out of you.
That's right.
Isn't that right?
That's
That's
They have no respect for you. They just want what you can get out of them.
That's right.
The whore don't care nothing about you. The whore only cares that after I service you, what are you putting on that table for me? Isn't that right?
That's right.
And it better be what I want. Because if you don't give me what I want, I got a man outside the door.
That's right.
He gonna deal with you after it's all over with. You see, we have gone a whore. We now economically and politically and spiritually and religiously sleep with the whore. And we sleeping with the whore, and she giving us position, she giving us power, she giving us homes, she giving us what? Education. And after she gives it to us, somewhere in our lives they come back. I'm ready for payment now.
Yes. Gotta pay the price.
And when you can't pay the whore, you gotta go. Isn't that right? We're gonna start some propaganda on you. Isn't that what they did to Brother Bill Cosby? Bill Cosby rubbed elbows with the whore for years.
Yeah.
They made him what? America's dad.
Yeah.
Did y'all catch that?
Yeah.
He was the most beloved father figure of Babylon. But when the whore couldn't get out of Brother Bill what they wanted, the whore sent some other whores.
Teach your big brother.
Go
Teach
tell
you.
all the business. Make them look bad and get all the niggas behind you who would come and say he deserved what
He
he got.
got.
That's right. And the niggas came.
Then it up.
You understand about the white ones?
Yeah.
But we jumped on the black one.
Yeah.
Isn't that right?
That's right.
We jumped on Bill. What's the singer name? R. Kelly.
Yeah.
And who else was it? Someone else.
Jackson.
Michael Jackson. They wait 10 years after Brother dead.
Dead. Still dead.
They make an HBO documentary accusing Michael Jackson of all types of stuff.
That's right.
Black man not even here to defend himself.
Sad.
Come on now. Michael Jackson was a little weird.
Yeah.
I personally don't believe he touched no Lord.
I don't either.
I just believe he was childish at mind.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Because as he always said, if you went to the story, Michael Jackson just never had a child.
Never.
He never had a Christmas. He was a Jehovah's Witness. Don't celebrate no holidays. He couldn't do the average things as a child does because 8 years old, he was on stage saying ABC.
That's true.
And he stayed on the road, so he missed growing up.
Yeah.
And something was locked in his mind, his psyche, that I need to get what I lost.
My child.
So in his mind, Michael Jackson was really a child. That's what we don't understand. He didn't have a sexual problem. He had a psychological problem, and people didn't understand, Brother Mike.
Yeah.
See, we don't look at this whole picture. Okay.
Teach your big brother.
All right, let's go to the book of Hosea. Hosea chapter 9, verse 1. If I can get...
Okay. Thanks.
All right. We'll get, Z, read for us, please.
Okay.
Hosea 9:1. Rejoice not, O Israel, for joy as other people, for thou hast gone a whoring from thy God. Thou hast loved a reward upon every corn floor, which is a threshing floor, meaning in every way. Ashe.
The Most High said, don't even try to celebrate. Don't be happy. Don't be joyous. Don't have any festivals because you, Israel, have gone a whoring. You can't do as other nations. You will have what? Eternal misery. Because you and you alone are what? My children. You're my seed. You're my heirs. Are we not called heirs?
Yes.
You belong to me. They don't really belong to me. You are the first and you are the last. You're the ones who's supposed to be what? Leading and ruling the world and teaching the nations. He says, so no, you don't have any time to rejoice. You need to get this matter straight. Isn't that right?
That's right.
We need to get it straight. Because we have gone a whoring. We are now not the children of God. We are the children of the great whore. That's something. Anybody ever heard Richard Pryor tell his life story?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Richard Pryor's grandmother ran a brothel.
That's right.
His mother was a prostitute.
That's right.
His father would drop in from time to time. Now, with a life story like that, you can see why Richard Pryor had such a filthy mouth. You can see you can imagine what he had seen as a child. And what did he do? He had to turn all that pain into comedy. That's what made, see, you gotta look at the life story, like I said about Michael Jackson. What made this man or woman to be what they are? So when I first heard his story, because as a child, you know, I go way back in the day. We used to get what you call it, 78?
That's right. 33.
30, huh? 78?
78.
Well, I remember we used to get the big one. And we used to go in each other's houses because we had the long,
Yes.
right, with the needle on it.
Yeah.
That's right.
And we sit around when no one was around, no parents that were, and we would listen to these people.
Yeah.
It was the funniest thing in the world.
Yes, sir.
But as I grew older, I was wondering, man, how can this brother say the things that he say? And it didn't hit me until I heard him tell his life story. And I couldn't imagine, see, we were in a different time then. We weren't in this time. So imagining back in the day when, you know, black women were upright and black men were upright and, you know, we had a small little problems, but we weren't fighting each other in the street and acting like niggas in the street. But imagine that time back in the day and you hearing a brother say, my grandmother ran a brothel, a whorehouse.
Whoa.
My mother was a prostitute.
That's right.
And my father only dropped in from time to time, but he wasn't in my life. That was a horror story. Because growing up back in my day, I'm just saying for me, most households had a mom and a daddy.
That's right. That's right.
Isn't that right?
That's right.
You knew everybody's mother and you knew everybody's father. And if they didn't have a father, for the most part, most of the time they were killed in the military or they killed in a car accident or something.
That's right.
And if they didn't have a father, for the very few that didn't have a father in the household, there was always a man figure
Yes, sir.
around or available who stood in for the missing father. So when you look at the life story, it told me a lot about Richard Pryor. Now I can see why this brother became who he was. He was hiding his pain. And the humor helped to cover it a little bit, but it wasn't enough. So he turned to another course. Drugs. Isn't that right?
Okay.
That's how he got burned.
Yes.
Y'all remember hitting that cocaine,
Smoke that crack.
that crack, excuse me. That freebasing. That's what it was.
Freemason, that's it.
Caught on fire and that woke him up. Then Pryor said he took a trip to where? Africa. And Pryor said, when I went to Africa, I didn't see any niggas, and I never heard the word nigga. It woke him up.
That's right.
See, until we do what God tells us to do and go back to our natural course and wake up, we'll never psychologically escape this whore. This whore will always have a grip on us, and our misery will constantly be there until we get back into our God-like nature, God-like character, and God-like being, and stop playing religious people and be gods and goddesses.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's what we need to do. So this is what Hosea is warning us of. Now, if you read the prophecy of the book of Hosea, in the beginning, God called this prophet, and he tells the prophet, go marry a whore. Read the first chapter.
Yeah.
God commanded this prophet, and the prophet said, what? That's what he said, what? What do you mean marry a whore? Because we're supposed to look for what? Chaste and upright women.
Right.
But see, when you are a child of God, God will call you to do some heavy duties. That's why I say you can't play with these matters when it comes to being righteous. But he wanted the prophet to symbolize something in his own life. He said, marry the whore and have children by the whore.
Yeah.
And when the people ask you, prophet, why did you do this? Tell them that I told you to do to do this to show them themselves.
Come on.
You have left me, your God. You have went and married the whore, and now you have produced seed by the whore. See, sometimes telling us ain't enough.
You got show us.
You know what mom and daddy used to say when you're small?
Show you better.
Especially mama, I can show you better than I can tell you. And then your heart begin to beat. You felt it hitting your chest because you know what that show means. Right? Show me, I'm going to make it real to you. Since you can't see it, since you can't understand it, let me let you feel it. Ooh, so you will know exactly what I'm talking about. This is what he did with Hosea the Most High, Yahweh the great I am that I am. He said, I'm going to take the most holiest one, because the prophets and the prophetess were the most holiest among the nation. I'm going to take one of the most holiest ones, and I'm going to get you to do something defiled, and that way when a nation comes complaining, you tell them, you're the one.
Look at it.
Just like he did David. David killed Uriah, the husband of who? Bathsheba. After him committing adultery with Bathsheba, having a baby with Bathsheba, he had the brother killed to cover up his own crime. Then the prophet Nathan came to David. He told David about a sheep that was stolen from a good man by a bad man. And David said a bad man ought to be put to death. And Nathan said, David, you the man.
How about that?
He said, you the man, brother. You stole the sheep from Uriah. So should I put you to death? See, we got to be careful
Come on, brother.
what we put on other people. So the Most High will come back and say, hold on. You forgot your life story.
That's right.
Isn't that right?
That's right.
That's why we can't go around judging and talking about other people and what they used to do. I know what I used to do. I can't talk about you. I know what I used to do. And everything I used to do ain't pretty.
Not at all.
I heard
So I don't go around talking about other bad habits of people, and what they used to do, and where this brother come from, and what that sister used to do.
Yes, sir.
Because I'm still cleaning this house.
Right.
That's right.
Because there was a lot of dirt in this house I got to get rid of.
Oh, yes, sir.
And you're going to spend a lifetime, if you're truly righteous, you're going to spend a lifetime cleaning your temple.
Don't never stop cleaning.
Because never, there's a cobweb, a spider, a bug, a roach somewhere in you.
Somewhere.
Still moving around. And all right, let's go to Revelation 17:5, sisters and brothers. All praises be to the Most High.
All the time. Thanks and praise.
See, here at SUA, we like to get the truth. We don't want to hype you up and get you feeling good. And you go out here with an empty head and a dumb spirit.
That's right.
Come on,
We
bro.
want your head full of knowledge, and we want your spirit high in the Most High.
Yes, sir.
All right, what does Revelation 17:5 say?
And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great, and the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Upon her forehead was written a mystery.
Mystery, Babylon the Great,
Forehead represents the mind. Now let's break this thing down. How did the devil get you? He got in your mind.
Yes, it did.
So the Most High said, in order for you to get her, the great whore, in order for you to get into the system of the great whore, you got to get in the mind of the great whore.
Right.
Don't they say, doing to others as they have done unto you? See, we're not trying to get in the mind of what makes the white man tick. Why does he think the way he thinks? See, our reply would be, they don't care nothing about the white man. You ought to care.
Yes, sir.
You should always care about the one that rules over you. And in order to defeat an enemy, you have to know how the enemy thinks. Am I right, Baba?
Yes, sir.
You have to know how the enemy thinks. That's part of the writing of the, what do you call it, the Book of War. What is it? The Art of War, thank you. The Art of War. That's part of that writing. You'll get to a section where it tells you, you have to know how the enemy thinks in order to defeat the enemy.
That's right.
So the mystery is in the mind of the enemy. What is the name of the mystery? Babylon. You're in Babylon. Now learn the history of Babylon. Learn the operations of Babylon. Learn the strength and the weaknesses of Babylon. That's what the writer is telling us. You need to learn all about the great whore through the land that she rules over. That's how she keeps you oppressed.
That's right.
In other words, let me make it real to you, because you can see it better like this. Why did the CIA and J. Edgar Hoover fear the Black Panthers so greatly? Because in the 60s, it was late 60s or early 70s, I can't quite put it on a year, but the year they marched into the Senate with guns,
65.
65,
Yes, sir.
mid-60s, they came into the United States Senate, black guys, walking in the Senate, doing a Senate meeting with guns. No one shot them. No one took one weapon from them. Why not? Because they went into Babylon system and they learned the system and how to deal with the whore. They quoted every law that Babylon had that the whore had written.
Come on, brother.
They quoted every law. And the man couldn't touch them because they knew the law. They knew the law better than lawyers.
There you
You have brothers from their mid-teens to their early 20s.
That's right.
No older than that. Most of them were still in college. And they were fighting the government like professionals. And did not have to fire a shot. No police officer came out with their weapons like this on the brothers when they marched in. No one told them they had to get out. Why? Hewitt P. and Bobby Seale was quoting law. Boom, boom, boom. And they was in a meeting. Wow, niggas know them laws.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
By the United States Constitution, we can't touch them. Now you see what I'm talking about? And then here comes the devil, because he watches how we think. We got to get them niggas from reading them laws. So let's start some disturbances. And you know, in the movie Panther, they showed you. Kadeem Hardison, remember he played the role? He was working for him on the inside. He got some niggas who work for us on the inside. That's why you got to always clean your house.
That's right.
Isn't that right?
That's right.
But anyway, if you know those laws, he's saying the mystery is you can bring down Babylon. What else he said about the mystery of Babylon?
Babylon the Great, and the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth.
She's the mother of, as we state, of all prostitutes, whores, but she is also the abomination of the entire earth. Now, this is why I'm telling you, you can never ask your God to bless
Never.
or change the heart of her.
Yeah.
Because your God already told you she's an abomination. Now, if you know your Bible, brothers and sisters, what does the Bible always say about anything that's an abomination?
Gotcha. Lowest.
Simple.
Leave alone.
Nope. What it says is, kill it.
Get rid.
Go through the Bible and prove me wrong. I dare you. Try me. Anything that's an abomination, God says, get rid of it, kill it, destroy it. Those are God's words, not my words. God says, kill it. You don't keep an abomination around. Why? Because the abomination would do what?
Destroy you.
Spread.
Fester. Right?
Spread.
Come on, let's use our own teachings that we have. One bad apple spoils the whole bunch.
Oh, no.
So when you see a rotten apple in a bunch, you got to take that rotten apple out.
That's right. We throw it away.
Because those germs spread and it would cause another apple to rot and another, and pretty soon the whole barrel is rotten. This is why God says, kill any abominable thing. Isn't that right? White man practice bestiality.
Kill him.
Scripture said, I don't care how prized your bull is. If you catch a man having sex with that bull, kill a man and kill a beast.
Kill the beast, that's right.
It's right there in the book.
Yeah.
I'm telling you from the book. It said kill the man and the beast. You can't clean neither one of them.
No.
He's filthy for going to the beast, and now the seed of the man is in the beast. So anything you eat of that beast,
Gotta go.
you got it in you.
That's right.
Because as soon as, I gotta be real with it, the sperm hits the body, it goes into the bloodstream.
That's right.
And once it hits the bloodstream, it's in every part. So if a woman or man have sex with a beast, boom, that beast gotta go because that nature of that being is now in that one. This is why we have to be careful. Because any sheep that come from Europe, you better not eat them.
Not a good idea.
Pig, cows.
Cow. That's
If
right.
you know it's imported from Europe, because they got those open bestial brothels
Yeah.
where you can pay and farmers will bring his beast to make extra money. Let the man have sex with the beast, then he take the beast back to the farm.
Man.
He's raising them, and next thing you know, the beast is going what to the slaughterhouse.
Right.
And then he's being put on planes and ships and coming to America.
Yeah.
And you going there back, ooh, fresh lamb.
Oh.
Isn't it right?
Fresh like that.
It's fresh, all right. Now we're wondering. Now let's look at this thing real. We're wondering spiritually, what's wrong with us?
That's right.
Where we keep getting all these bad habits. Is different methods. This man inject his demonic spirit in us. We're laughing about it, but this is really real. We have to start thinking about this stuff, brothers and sisters, because this is our reality. We're in this whorish land. Let's go to verse 6 of Revelation 17. Are we good?
Yes, sir.
All right, man. So if you see somebody messing with an animal,
Kill
kill him, her, and it. All right? Then use your religious status and laws when you go to court. Your Honor, according to my religious belief.
Yes.
And I understand that church and state is separate. So you have to judge me according to my religion.
Yes, sir.
No matter what this devil.
Yes, indeed.
Isn't that right? See, now you can escape a whole lot if you know the laws.
Ain't that true?
All right, what does it say?
Revelation 17:6. And I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyrs of Yeshua. And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration or respect.
Let's get this thing. John looked at that whore and said, I see that the whore for years have been killing the saints, the righteous, and the martyrs of Yahshua. Everyone who stepped up for Yahshua, followed Yahshua, stood in the place for Yahshua, teach like Yahshua, act like Yahshua. That would be the righteous again. In other words, this whore been murdering you from the beginning of her time. But John said, and now you want to understand what I said a few weeks ago about you have to respect the white man. John said, but I stood in admiration, respect. Why would you respect such a beast? Because if this beast, John is saying, can take you gods and goddesses and forever eternally kill you, you can't do nothing but step back and say, oh, I got to respect that devil for having the audacity, the courage to continue to do something to such a great people as us. That's why we fear him more than we fear God himself. Am I right?
You're right.
Most of them.
Black folks can quote God laws. Whether you Christian, Muslim, Hebrew, Rasta, we can quote God's law, but we respect the white man laws. I'm making it real to you. Huh? We talk about the ancestors, we talk about our elders, but we respect white folks more than we respect our own. I'm not a fan of Kevin Hart. I don't really care for Kevin Hart. I think Kevin Hart is a coon. But when I heard about his accident And my wife would tell you, I was sort of heartbroken, like, man, that's a sad thing. To have such a terrible thing happen to you at this area in your life where you got all this money, you're on the go, you're prosperous, and now I come to find, they said, I don't know how true it is, but they say he's paralyzed from the neck down. He can't speak.
He been
From a car accident.
he was paralyzed down, but I don't know how long.
Okay, so is
He's
it,
doing rehab.
because I haven't heard any update, but still, see, I don't want to see any brother or sister. I mean, I don't hate him. I just don't like his ways, his comedy, and I don't like his attitude.
Right. Yes.
But I don't want to see the brother hurt or harm. He's still a brother.
Right.
We're supposed to love each other, right?
That's right.
So, brothers and sisters, we have a long way to go because we would quickly joke about each other. Because when it happened, all I saw was jokes about Kevin Hart on social media. That's all I heard was jokes.
Yeah.
Same thing. When they locked up Bill Cosby, jokes.
Yeah.
R. Kelly, jokes.
Yeah.
Anything that happens to us, we turn into laughter. We're the only people who would disrespect ourselves and laugh about it at the same time. Remember when that little Negro Sims made the little joke about Harriet Tubman? Russell Simmons.
Yeah.
Russell Simmons.
Oh,
Y'all remember he made the joke about Harriet Tubman was disrespectful and disgraceful, and he had to come back and apologize, talking about the way she slept with the master and all this stuff. And here was a woman that put her life on the line so that Joe behind can be free. We're the only people who disrespect our heroes and sheroes.
Come on, brother.
Make light of them and laugh about them. But the white man heroes and sheroes,
You know,
we don't say a word about it.
not at all.
Let's go to the last one. So let's go to Revelation 18. Let's read verses 7 and 8. Revelation chapter 18, verses 7 and 8.
Revelation 18, 7 and 8. How much she hath glorified herself
Mm.
and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. For she saith in her heart, I sit a queen, and I am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is the Lord God who judgeth her. Ashe.
Let's break that thing down. She shall be utterly destroyed with fire.
Bless Yahweh.
It didn't say the land. It's talking about the whore. The whore is a people or nation. Right? Because you can clean up the land if you get rid of the whore. Just like you can clean up your house if you get the whore out your house. Isn't that right? But let's start again. Let's read it slowly because we got the last part. She will be utterly destroyed by fire. What does the first part say, sister?
How much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously.
She is bragging every day and living prosperity. Right? In prosperity. Every day she's prospering. And she brags about it.
Indeed.
It's called white privilege.
Ooh.
Isn't that right?
That's right.
They always talk about what they got. They go to the bank. They don't need any credit. All they got to do is put their name on paper. And they get what they want. While you're living in misery. What else does it say, sister?
It says, so much torment and sorrow give her. For she saith in her heart, I sit a queen, and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow.
She says in her heart, can't nobody touch me. That's what she's saying, right?
That's right.
The scripture said, give her, read that part again. I want to make that clear before I go.
So much torment and sorrow give her.
Get so much torment and sorrow give her. Now I'm going to ask you the question. Who is the Most High talking to through John to give to the whore? Us. So when he says the last part, she will burn with fire, he's telling you, you burn it down.
Yes, sir.
Right.
You give her the torment. You give her the sorrows.
Hallelujah.
He's saying you are to give it to her because she what? Gave it to you. And in Revelation chapter 18, go down to the 5th and 6th verses, it tells you that. It says give her a double portion of what she gave you. In other words, God said, I ain't coming down doing nothing for you.
Come on.
Because I gave you the power to do it for yourself. So stop complaining to me about this great whore. Stop asking me to bless her. If you really want to be out of the situation of being oppressed, if you want to be in financial gain, if you want freedom, justice, and liberty, then take that whore out the picture, burn her down, and give her the punishment she deserves. Stop asking me for anything. I gave you the power.
All right.
Teach
Amen.
it.
Isn't that right?
Amen.
When Yahshua was walking one day, he came across his disciples, and his disciples standing around looking dumb, and a man came to him and said, Master, my son has a demon in him. He has an evil spirit. He's sick. I took him to your disciples, but your disciples couldn't do anything for him. And Yahshua looked at his disciples and said, how long must I suffer you?
Come on.
Meaning, how long I got to put up with you? He said, did I not give you power to tread on all types of serpents and wickedness and evil and sickness? He said, didn't I give you the power? Why you act like you can't do this? Who taught you that you don't have the ability and the capability of doing for yourself and overpowering the demons and the devil? This demon and this devil don't have any power over you. As a matter of fact, they fear you more today than they ever feared you
Yes,
in
sir.
life.
Yes, sir.
Indeed.
But we don't know how to tread on the serpent.
Because they scared.
And in the beginning, this wasn't talking about Jesus and a snake called Satan. This was talking about two seeds. When the Creator said to the serpent seed, it will bite the heel of my children, but my children will crush the head of yours. God is waiting for us to get it together
Come on now.
so we can crush the head of the serpent.
That's right.
That's what the Most High wants us to
Soon
do.
come.
Stop accepting this abomination as your brother and your sister. Every man and woman is not created equal. You came first straight out of God.
That's right. Amen.
Where did they come from?
Us.
We made the devil.
That's right.
That's a true statement. We made this devil.
That's right.
This devil is not a natural being.
No.
Look at his history. You can't find his origins in Africa. He has no origins in Europe. He has no origins in America. As my father used to ask us as children before we got the knowledge of it, or he revealed it to us, he used to say, where did the white man come from?
That's right.
And we would say, Daddy came from Europe. Look it up. He has no origins in Greece, Rome, or any part of Europe. But when you study the history, your African ancestors said they are the Tomahawk.
Tomahawk.
They are the made
Man.
white man. Now in your Bible, there are two stories in the beginning.
That's right.
One is of a created man, who, man meaning man or woman, who was what? Given dominion over the earth. The other is a made man who had to what? Stay in the garden and keep it. If you have to stay in the garden and keep it, you don't have dominion over the earth.
Come on, bro.
So there are two different people that the Bible is talking about, that them nasty little white Jews, them gutter Jews,
Gutter
took
Jews.
and
Come
wrote
on,
it
brother.
into one story to blind you from who you are and who they are.
Come on, big brother.
Isn't that right?
Yes, sir.
One is a created man,
Yes, sir.
and one is a
Made
made
man.
man.
Yes, sir.
And the made man, when you read the ancient Semitic writing, the God told the created man, you made them, now destroy them. But we love our children we made. So they became our punishment. So until you chastise this child, put this child in his and her place, and get them off the earth,
Yes, sir.
we shall suffer the hell we are in. Ashe.
Ashe.
All praise be to the Most High.